New fear unlocked. Grown men have sugar mamas that are younger than them, let alone. I'm sorry. I'm giving up. I decided, let's start talking to this 34-year-old man, a real man. These 26, 28-year-olds ain't cutting it. Let's go for a 34-year-old man. Maybe he'll be looking for what I'm looking for. No, he has a sugar mama younger than him. For the past year and a half.
I have a theory about the men's loneliness epidemic that's obviously been unproven, and it probably might ruffle some feathers, but you're gonna have to hear me out on it. First, I think it's utter BS. I think the term loneliness epidemic is wrong for a multitude of reasons, but the reason I need you to stick with me on this is because I'm looking at this from a very objective approach. Coming from a single woman who's been very single for a very long time, has not gone on a date in 3 years. The reason men are considered lonely is because they're having a hard time finding a partner, okay? Let's just make that clear. And for every man out there, there's an equal and opposite woman who is also single. But there is no women's loneliness epidemic. You know why? Because that same exact situation for a woman is considered a flex. And all you have to do is take a look at some of the articles being published from Shantae Joseph in British Vogue. The narrative and rhetoric surrounding women choosing singlehood in 2025 is that this is the year of the single woman. This is the year of is having a boyfriend embarrassing. And it sort of just begs the question, okay, then why are men considering themselves so lonely? And again, this is coming from someone who has been single for a very long time. I generally have not gone on a date in 3 years, and I would never consider myself to be lonely because I have hobbies, because I have friends, and I'm using myself as a real life example, but like I have other things that make my life fulfilling. And for this group of women that I consider myself to be in, they also have other things that make their lives fulfilling. And so for this group of men to consider themselves to be lonely, it's like, maybe the answer really isn't that you're lonely and that you need a partner if you're a man. Maybe the answer is that you need hobbies, you need family, and you need friendship. And maybe you need to go to therapy and do some work on yourself, because that's what the women are doing. And it seems to be working. And the problem I have with this whole like loneliness epidemic mindset is that it's such a victim complex. And it's like, okay, well, maybe the answer is you. Because if you just turn the corner and look at the group of women who are inherently doing the same thing, you can take a page out of their book.
Girl, shut up. We're not lonely, and I'm using myself as an example. And also, I'm citing an opinion piece from some article, written by some woman somewhere. What? Bro, do y'all not understand y'all are ruining y'all's credibility every day? You have no credibility. These modern women don't understand. They hate that men are actually going their own way and living life peacefully without them. They hate that. How are men living without us? How are men walking away from the dating scene? How are they walking away from dating apps? How are they doing it? They can't. Nah, they not. They got to be lonely. That's the only way that I can explain it. But for me, I'm not lonely. I gotta use myself as an example because I'm not lonely.
Years ago, I went on a date with this guy, and it was like first date, talking about stuff. I don't know how we get on the topic. I don't even know what we were talking about, okay? And he goes, oh, well, I don't believe men and women are equal. And I'm like, why did I come on a date with this guy? Like, I don't know. I was like, damn, like, he seemed so great. And I'm like, oh, why? And he's like, well, because, like, from the time you guys are, like, girls, you guys have to deal with periods and, like, period pain, like cramps and headaches and all these things that come along with that. And then if you guys decide, like, once you guys are older, if you guys decide to, like, get pregnant, then you have to deal with, like, morning sickness and cravings and food aversions and like all this stuff. And then you have to go through labor, and labor can last for days. And like, he's doing this whole speech, okay? He's like, labor can last for days, and then you have to like deliver the baby, and like one way or another, like the recovery is like super crazy, like really hard. And then you have to like feed the baby from your body, like your blood turns into food for the baby. And then, you know, like not even just that, but like you guys contribute so much. Like, look throughout history, like everything that women have contributed, and then look at all these scientific advancements that come from women, and look at matriarchies that exist, and it's women. And in countries when women are in power, they're happier, and the countries run more efficiently, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, this guy is really wise, because I'm thinking like he thinks women are less than men, because it's usually the way men think. And he's like, so I think women are way better than men. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were going like I thought you were going to say like, women are less than men. He's like, oh, no. Like, men could never do what women do. And then I was like, this is like a line he's feeding me to try to get me like, oh, he's so nice and he thinks that like women are like better than men and blah, blah, blah. And like, anyways, I dated him for like 3 years maybe. And then we got married, and we've been married for, I think it's going to be like 2 years, and we have a son together. And I can tell you that he truly believes that women are better than men. And he thinks that I am like this goddess that walks on earth, and that I'm just like the best person to ever exist. And I'm not even trying to sound cocky. This is just the way my husband talks about me and treats me. And he thinks that I'm like so smart. And he constantly tells me that he loves me because I'm so smart, and he loves that I'm smarter than him, and like all this stuff. And I'm just really, really happy that I went on that date with that guy who thinks that men and women aren't equal.
Honestly, your man sounds like a simp, to be honest. I mean, if he's just talking about, oh yeah, man, I respect my wife, she can do X, Y, and Z, and she's good at X, Y, and Z, that's one thing. But this guy is talking about women are so much better than men. Really? 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 You talk about all of the things that women can do until they start, okay, well, come over here and do what a man can do. Oh, wait, I can't. That's what I'm saying. It'd be one thing if you're like, man, you know, I admire my wife. My wife is super strong. She can do this. I would never even be able to do that. Understanding and recognizing the differences between the genders. But you over here simping, talking about women are better than men. Bro, stop.
When I say dating men is giving me an ick that has never icked as much as it has before. Because tell me why I'm talking to this one guy. Just started talking to him, and he asked me why I'm single. I told him why I'm single because these niggas are not truthful and they can't communicate, and I ain't got time for that. And so I asked him, why is he single? He said, because I run a strict program. I'm intrigued. What's your strict program? Huh? He said, you can't go to no clubs and you can't have no male friends. Skirt. Nigga, what? First of all, so you're telling me where I am and am not going to go. Is that what I'm understanding? Fuck no. Then two. No male friends, but what about your homegirls? What about your homegirls? What about them homegirls that you be having? What about all them? Oh, it's not like that. I don't want to hear none of that. And then go back to the clubs. Nigga, first of all. So it's okay for you to go to clubs with your niggas and your friends and go hang out with your peoples, but it's not okay for me to go hang out with mine? Get the fuck out of my face. Like, wait. And I see why you're single and you're going to stay single, bitch, because who in the 21st century, what female is going to allow it? I mean, there is a lot of pick me. There's a lot of pick niches. So I can see that, but it's not this one, babes. He said, it's either you're going to have to drop your ex that's like your child's dad, or we going to have to go our separate ways. I said, so we going our separate ways then. The fuck? Ew. And then, like, let me just say this. I don't go out. I don't go to the clubs anyways. I'm a homebody. If a homebody was a person, that would be me, okay? I don't go out anyways. However, if I feel like I want to go out and shake my ass, I'm going to go out and shake my ass. Thank you, okay? And then, also, before anybody starts talking mess about, you know, my ex who was like my child's dad, first of all, my child's dad is in his life, and me and my ex, he has an understanding that will never be again. I will never get back together with him. There is no reason, no type of, any way in heaven or hell we would ever get back together. Love him dearly. Terrible boyfriend. Great father, terrible boyfriend. So he's still in my son's life, and it's going to be like that. So it's either you're going to accept him being in my child's life too, or you can go. And the exit's over there to the left.
Was he actually doing that, or are you just making that up? Because I know you like to continue doing whatever you want to do, and then you want a man to come rescue you. So, you know, I can't say that I'm mad about his strict program.
Y'all, I fumbled Thanos Gaming. This was a couple months ago. I had my Hinge active in LA, and I saw him and matched with him. My coworker said I messed up by saying I was a fan. I'm sorry, it's Thanos Gaming.
Here's a hot take that a lot of y'all aren't ready for. If a man is capable of being successful and making money and has done things in his life to earn respect and power from the people around him, you're not going to find him anywhere near an ICE application, because that's loser shit.
Imagine having a wife with abs and huge knockers, and you still somehow fumbled. Like, you got her to marry you, babe, and you still fumbled it. I hope Kyle Cook kicks himself every day.
So I just asked a handful of guys if they would buy me Starbucks. So I'm gonna wait and see who responds and who's gonna buy me Starbucks. Okay, so far I've gotten one that says, if I do, can I go on a date with you? Another one saying, I will if you show me your body. I had another one say, now why would I do that? And then another guy said, yeah, let me pick you up. And I had another guy just Venmo me, y'all, let's go get our Starbucks. Secured.
Hi, Mickey. I see you have access to an exclusive club in New York City. I don't know if you want to play the guessing game, but let me know if I'm on the nose.
Roll call! Donald!
And they be out here playing around, messing around out on these dating apps. They be messing around, and when they can't find nobody I can't find anybody to love me. I've been on the dating apps for 10 years. That's why. Because y'all be out here playing around. Y'all be out here goofy. Just with the foolishness, y'all make it seem like y'all are the only ones that are taking dating seriously. And a man is just all these unhealed men, all these emotional men just playing games with us. Why are they doing that? But then get out there, start playing around. You can do whatever you want, but keep it up, I guess. You gonna get what you get.
I told my situationship to either choose me or leave me alone, and he's replied, this is a 10-year situationship. Put me in jail. I know, but I'm gonna read what he said. I'm actually so scared. Okay. No. Yeah, I agree and understand. You mean a lot to me too and want to have you in my life, but I don't want to just lead you on to nothing. It's awesome talking and hanging out with you, but it does seem like a lot, and I'm not in a place to be in a relationship, but friendship and talking and hanging out, if you want, would be awesome. It's over. Yeah, no problem. All right, bye. Talk to you never again. Bye. I'm actually devastated. It's fine. It's okay. No problem.
For some reason, modern women are thinking that they run things, and unfortunately for them, they're finding out that that's actually not the case. They're out here giving men ultimatums, but then finding out that men don't care anything about your ultimatum.
Isn't it so fucking crazy that when you're like dating a guy, you think that he like gets hella bitches and you're worried about who he's talking to, who he's fucking, and then you guys break up and you take a step back and then you really look at the motherfucker and you're like, you really don't get bitches. What the fuck?
Okay, put a finger down. If you were in a situationship with someone for a little bit, but then a month ago you guys decided that you would not hook up with other people, so it was definitely not dating, but it was definitely not like whatever, like it was another step. But then you guys go to an afters party, he's super drunk, and you were just like, okay, and apparently some crazy ex-situationship is coming to see him, and he's taken upstairs, then you were told to go upstairs, go in the room, like go to bed. Ex-situationship comes knocking on the door saying a bunch of crazy shit for a while, leaves. Said situationship, not the girl, the boy, walks downstairs to get a beer. Ex-situationship comes back in, apparently, somehow mangles her way back in. They're giggling, laughing with a bunch of people downstairs, and you're trying to sleep in situationship's bed, and then you fall asleep for maybe 30 minutes, and then you get woken up by an air mattress being blown up in the room right above you, and then you can hear them fucking, and then not, and then fucking again. And then you just try to find your purse that you want to leave because your car's there, but you need your keys that are in your purse. So you're searching for an hour, and you eventually have to go upstairs to said air mattress and pick up clothes and try to find this purse. And it's going to be all the way on the first floor, thrown into the corner. Gum container is going to be fully open, gum taken out of it. And as soon as you go back upstairs to collect your items, you are writing a note to leave, and you can hear them fucking once again after we had already walked up there. And then you leave.
Honestly, when I found out she was there, I would have left then. Period. Honestly, I would have said, hey man, what's she doing here? Oh, well, yeah, hey, listen, man, I'm about to bounce. I don't know about this. I just don't want to get caught up in the middle of anything. So I'm going to go ahead and head out. I'm going to go ahead and get my person head out, right? Jump ship. Ain't trying to be nice to nobody. Ain't trying to fall. I can fall asleep when I get back to the house. Honestly.
Okay, I need to know if I'm tripping or not. And unlike some of y'all, I will leave him if I have a general consensus, which is that this is a valid reason to be upset. We were on the phone and he was with one of his friends. They were driving to dinner and then he says, "Aw, damn, the Hooters is closed." I said, how would you feel if I said, "Aw, damn, my favorite male stripper doesn't work at the club anymore"? Notice how I'm not judging the people who work at Hooters, okay? Like, I never even said, like, "Oh, I don't respect blah, 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 blah." Because I do. Get your bag. You know what I mean? But the person that I am dating, I don't want them to go to Hooters. I don't want them to go to Hooters. Does that make me insecure? I mean, I don't, if I wanted to get a job at Hooters, I could go get a job at Hooters, I think, I hope. But like, he doesn't get it. And he's like, I just wouldn't be upset over that. Okay, heard, loud and clear. Let's see what the audience thinks.
Well, it is giving insecure. Maybe he just wanted some wings and some burgers, some dogs. Don't be so insecure.
Story time about how an influencer flew me out to Miami this past weekend and then ghosted me. I have tried filming.
I'm going to save you from that Yaposaurus Rex because her videos about this are 20 minutes long. Do not feel sorry for her. I don't, and you shouldn't. She has zero, -1,000 survival skills. She flew to Miami to screw a dude. Her words. She said this was not like a we're dating situation. We both knew what this was. She prepared her body for a week to go and sleep with this man. While she's there, he's saying all the sweet things. I guess they do the stuff. She said, before I even come, you need to go get tested. Reminds him multiple times. He doesn't. She sleeps with him anyway. Zero survival skills. Books her own place because he says, like, I don't do sleepover. The next day, they're supposed to hang out. He is nowhere to be found. Finally responds, gives her some bullshit story. Her flight gets delayed. He ends up sending her $250. And she gets her feeling so hurt that he doesn't want to see her again. She's like distraught. He doesn't want to see her. Why am I so awful? What could I have possibly said? It's his job to tell me why he doesn't want to see me again. No, it's not. You're a hookup. He was using you. You were using him. He owes you nothing. You're lucky he sent you $250. You have zero survival skills. How are you an adult? She said she didn't have money for a hotel, didn't have money for this, didn't have money for that. Don't go on trips if you don't have the money for it. Even if someone says they're going to pay for everything. She should be so embarrassed. She posted 18 minutes about how she flew, slept with a guy, he used her, didn't want her anymore. And people feel sorry for her in her comment. I'm sorry that you lack the survival skills to handle that situation.
I hate that. Like, actually? I can't believe he actually let the door slam in my face. That's actually crazy.
I actually have a scenario, but this time it's for guys. I think I know what you guys would pick, but you let me know. Okay, we have two different women. Lady number one, she works in corporate America and she is a complete busybody, right? She's always fixing something around the house. She's always in the kitchen. She's always doing something, right? She can never fully relax. And she kind of expects you to do the same, like get up, let's do this, let's do that. Even on vacation, she's on 10. But you're gonna be your best version of yourself with her, right? She sees you guys as like accountability partners. She's gonna give you business connects. She's gonna make sure you're on top of this. Even like health and fitness, she's always on top of you, just making sure you're the best you could absolutely be, right? But there's really no relaxation when it comes to her. And she gets a bit bothered when you're relaxed because in her mind, there's always something to be done. Or we have girl number two. Girl number two is like your absolute crush. She's beautiful, very loving, but she is incredibly lazy. You get home from work and she's just now waking up. She sleeps the day away. She makes most of her money through like an online clothing boutique. And sometimes she'll forget to like ship orders out. When she does get out of bed, it's kind of like just to play dress up. And she doesn't really like leaving the house like that. And she kind of leaves certain things to you. Like in her mind, like a man is supposed to just take care of his own business and she doesn't need to get involved. Most of like the household duties will kind of fall on you because she's just always in bed. But when she finally does leave the house and get dressed, she's like an absolute baddie and she's always all over you and very, very, affectionate.
There were a lot of people picking option one, and I can see why they would do that. They're talking about, well, you can learn to relax. But the other one, sometimes it's hard to teach somebody to work. But that's just the thing, though. She's not going to relax. Nobody said anything about relaxing. They just said this is the way she was. No option if we could change. And hey, over the years, she learned to relax. Nobody said any of that. What if she's like this the whole time? it's too extreme. So which one would you want, right? Would you rather a woman? I think you honestly could make the case for option 2, because option 1, I mean, yeah, you're gonna be healthy as far as physically, but your mental is not gonna like. I know she's saying that, but it's like it's a contradiction, because she's always on top of you. She's always pushing you. If you're always pushing the body and you're never getting any rest and relaxation from what this is, you're gonna burn yourself out. And if you sit down, it says no one can relax around her. I'm your biggest supporter. I love you, but I will not let you sit down. I will not let you relax. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to do it. There's no time for rest, right? If you by yourself, I mean, if you, I feel like with option 2, you have some sort of control, because you can go out there and you can work hard. She might get up and do a couple things, right? But I can hire somebody to clean his house. I can hire somebody I can get a cook it. I can get one of those boxes, throw it together in like 30 minutes. Not gonna be that hard, cleaning. If she laying in bed all day, then she ain't messing nothing up. When the housekeeper come, she fold all the clothes. I mean, the woman, well, I mean, I guess it depends then now, because see, if she laying in bed all day and she ain't showering, oh no, you might have to go back to option 1. We might have to go to option 1. I don't know, man, because you're gonna need something, and option 1 is gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm ready, I'm clean, I'm fit. I don't know what y'all think.
And to who it may concern, on February 14th, I don't want flowers and I don't want a dinner. I just want a mini Kelly.
That lady got on here saying that you gotta ask me first before you ask my husband to get something for you on the top shelf. Panned to said husband, in 4 days, they've been calling him all kinds of crispity, crackety, Reuben studded. Don't nobody want him. He looked like a melted ice cream cone. Just strays, left and right. And that is a lesson in being quiet. That is a lesson in don't nobody want your man with you. That is a lesson in you thought you was gonna get on this here internet and people's gonna be like, period, sis, okay. That's what you had thought. Your video got to the wrong part of the internet, and now your entire bloodline is being dragged. You gotta operate in don't nobody want your man but you, because even if your man is cute, and people do be wanting your man if he got all his teeth, right? But you must be quiet. She panned to that man and he was like, please leave me out of this. And she did. Because he knew. He knew he was going to. She just set that man up.
I know a lot of you women like to laugh about stuff like this. But then y'all ride home lonely with no man. I know y'all like to make fun of what the man looks like and this, and look at this and look at that. But then go home to an empty house, to your dogs and your cats that you be licking all in their mouth. So, I mean, we could laugh, but we would also need to laugh about how you're not able to finish a job or complete a job or be anybody's type, honestly.
Has anybody else been following this 6-part series? If not, I'm going to give you the complete breakdown. Okay, so this is Taylor, and on January 10th, she made her first video saying that she is divorcing her husband after 10 years. So basically, she said for the last couple of months, they haven't had a lot of intimacy. They've been really off. Because of this, they've been sleeping in separate rooms, and really kind of her final straw was, I just want to see your phone. So she goes up and asks him, hey, can I see your phone before basically we make this final? He says yes, but he's like, but you know what? It's dead. It's in my work bag, and I'd have to charge it. And she's like, okay. She said they sat there for 5 minutes in silence, and she was like, okay, I want the phone, so you need to go get it. You need to get the charger, and I will look through it on the charger if I have to. He then changes his mind and says, I don't really think it'd be a good idea for you to go through the phone because I don't think you're going to like what you find. Of course, this made her say, that makes me want to look through the phone even more, so go get it. After a little bit of back and forth, he finally does give her the phone. She goes upstairs, and she finds a lot on it. But the one big thing that she found was that he was actively going out with his friends, saying that he was single, giving his number to single individuals and also went and hung out with a coworker that Lord only knows what happened between the two of them. Now, part 2, she explains the reaction. So after she comes down from looking at the phone, he says, "So how mad are you?" And she's like, "You know what? Not as mad as I thought I would be." Again, I think she just kind of knew that the marriage was coming to an end. She then shares some of her additional findings, which is when she was going through the phone, she also actively saw him watching porn every single day on his phone. So during this conversation, he begins to get a little hostile and definitely defensive. She said that anytime he would be called out for something in their marriage, he would tend to do this, where he would turn just really mean and nasty and didn't want to have conversations, would just become very mean towards her. So in this conversation, he said, "Yeah, you know, we've been doing so bad, and when you are mean to me, I look for validation in other women, and I probably will never stop. I will never stop seeking that out, and I will never stop watching porn. I really enjoy it. I really like it," and just kept kind of throwing it in her face that if she wasn't going to give him attention, then he was going to find it elsewhere. Now in part 3, this is where she says that they have officially decided that they are going to be getting a divorce, but it was her husband's birthday that week, and so her mother-in-law was set to come in to celebrate her son's birthday. So in this part, she was just explaining that the mother-in-law was coming in town and that it was going to be really unsettling to have these discussions with the mother-in-law because she was not going to have somebody in her home having no idea what was going on and that there was an impending divorce. She said overall her mother-in-law is a really nice woman, but in this conversation there were some things that really were off-putting, and mostly it was just because she was defending her child, but it seemed like she overlooked what her son was putting her through. And one of the big things in this conversation was the fact that her husband had told her recently that he resented the child that she brought into this marriage. So she gives a little background on that situation and basically says she married her husband 10 years ago. Her child was 1 year old when they met. So this was somebody that this child had spent basically their entire life with. And he had explained to her that he resented her child, did not love her child, and was never going to be able to love the child like she wanted him to. Now, the mother-in-law, when she was explaining this to her, had basically just defended her son and said, "Yeah, I mean, you know, I can understand that, and you should love your husband and put him before your child." So in part 4, she explains exactly what happened with the son. So this didn't start out this way. He obviously got into the marriage with her, and she felt like he must love her child because he loves her. And this is something that developed just recently, like in the last couple of months. He told her that he resented her child, did not love her child, and that is actually when she knew she was officially done. She said this happened on December 1st when they got into a big fight on their wedding anniversary, and that is when he opened up and explained that she should be choosing him over her son. Basically, she says in this video that she disagrees, that she has one responsibility, and that is her child, and it is not her responsibility to take care of a grown man. This man entered this relationship knowing that she had a son, and that is where she knew she was done in this marriage, because she cannot actively raise a healthy child in a home where he is no longer loved, or maybe never has been loved, by this step parent. Part 5, she just explains all of the red flags that ultimately led her to getting this divorce. Obviously, the one being going through the phone, and the other one being that he said he didn't love her child. That was ultimately what made the decision. But people were asking her questions like, well, what else did you see? So the first red flag was he didn't have social media majority of their relationship, and just in the last 3 months, he downloaded 3 apps: Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. And he did not tell her about this. This was something that she found out on her own, and he obviously didn't friend her or anything. This was something he was kind of keeping in secrecy. Number 2, at this point, his phone was always by him. He would not leave the room without his phone. He would never leave it on the counter and walk away anymore. He constantly had to have his phone on him 24/7. The third point was that he had recently bought an Apple Watch, and then all of a sudden he stopped using his Apple Watch. He actually let it die, then hid it or something, didn't use this new Apple Watch, and then deactivated his iCloud from that Apple Watch. So she was like, that is super suspicious. And the last thing was just her intuition, which is ultimately what led her to looking into his phone. Then in part 6, she breaks down the entire timeline of the entire thing so that people can understand, because in each part she was kind of giving little pieces and people were getting confused, but honestly it really does make sense. Everything checks out what she said. If you go back and listen to all the parts, that is basically what I just explained here in this video.
Well, and also she did a lot of things that is indicative of somebody who is a loser. She explained a lot of things that he did, but she didn't explain a whole lot about what she did. It was all about what he was failing at, and not a whole lot about what she was doing wrong. It was a whole lot of what he didn't like in the relationship and how he fell short, but not a whole lot of, this is what I said to make him feel this way. This is what I did to make him feel this way. This is how I treated him. And when he expressed a concern to me, I bypassed that. I ignored that. I didn't think twice about it because I didn't care. I never cared from the jump. This is what my priority. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm drawing lines in the sand, and I'm never going to change. That's what I'm going to do. I'm never going to change at all. And he's going to have to get used to that because I'm going to continue to do this forevermore. But I get mad at him when he says, well, you know what? It's never going to change that I'm going to keep on watching adult sites. It's never going to change that I'm out here. As a matter of fact, you know what? Why don't we open up our marriage? I don't know if she mentioned in there that they would go on again, off again, separating in the house, sleeping in different bedrooms. And then she tried to make it like, oh, I was always down for intimacy, sleeping in a separate room. Girl, stop lying. Quit that lying. You know you wasn't up for nothing. You was up for it if he went in there and groveled, which I don't know if you said anything about that. When he came back, it was essentially what he was saying when she was talking about, oh, I knew I was done then. Essentially what she said is he felt like, well, I feel like you prioritize your son way over me. I feel like I always come last. Oh, yeah, and it's always going to be that way. Stupid. Instead of listening to what he's saying and saying, well, that's my son. That's my son. And I don't mean to make you feel that way. Right? I try to treat you like you're the love of my life, but that's my little boy. How about this? How about you help me out? Whenever you feeling like I'm giving him more attention and maybe not that I'm giving him more attention. Maybe I'm not giving you enough attention. Maybe I'm so focused on him and the 20 sessions that she had. Maybe, I can cut down on some sessions that I have because she ran like 20 sessions a day, I think of, I don't know. She had like a fitness class or something like that. She's in shape. Maybe you can cut down on one of those sessions. Maybe I can take the afternoon and you and I can go hang out before he gets out of school. Or maybe I can leave him at his grandparents' house and then you and I can go hang out, right? Maybe we could take a weekend or something like that to hang out, just you and I. And I can, basically what he's asking for, I need a little bit more love from you. I feel like in any situation, if there's a fork in the road, you're going to go towards him. And so I'm always going to lose. You don't want to feel like that. You don't want to feel like if it ever comes to it, I'm always going to lose. If he comes up and says something versus me, I'm always going to lose. I could be right, but the way that I make him feel might change the tide and you listen to his feelings rather than sound logic. And he grows up to be spoiled and a brat and picking on everybody. And he gonna go out there in the world and get himself knocked out. Or worse, he gonna do that brat stuff when he gets to college, when mama ain't around, and somebody gonna lay him on his back. I'll tell you that right now. Somebody gonna knock a beer bottle over his head. Tell you that right now. Knocked out of a bar, knocked over a table. Or worse. Hopefully it don't get to worse. But I'm gonna tell you, the way that you're treating this young man, be careful out there. But you didn't say that though. It was his fault this whole time. You wasn't worried about that. It was his fault this whole time. That's what modern women do. They blame everything on the man. The man is wrong for this. And that's what I knew, this, and this. The man asked her. He said, okay, after they talked about the son, well, maybe we should go to counseling about this. Her stupid self said, well, you know what? I mean, why don't you get it scheduled? And, you just give me the schedule and I'll try to make it basically. But this in January, like January now, this is your time to shine. Talking about, they had this argument in December of 2025, talking about January 2026. This is your time to shine. You can tell me about therapy. I'll try to hop in here and there, but you need to get this up out of you. You need to, basically saying you're jealous and you need to work that out of you. Well, since we are a family unit, don't you think you and I should discuss with the therapist what the issue is, and maybe she could talk to us about how we work past this? No, she didn't think like that because she's a loser. She's a loser. And once again, we have modern women excusing the stupid behavior, the loser behavior of other modern women. Yep. I feel sorry for bro. I don't feel sorry that he got caught cheating. I don't feel sorry for that. I don't feel sorry that, she found out he was doing all that stuff, because he wasn't trying to be sneaky. He wasn't, really, honestly and truly. He didn't care about that. Right. And if you listen to her whole story, you'll know he quit caring. He just started hanging out with coworkers, started texting other women, started checking out adult sites. I think she said that last time that they had separated, but they were still living in the same house, they had done that for a few months. Not speaking to each other and all that stuff for a few months. At least a few months. And I knew, oh yeah, he checked out. I'll tell you when he checked out. He checked out when she said, or kept on saying, oh, that ain't never going to change. I'm always going to love my son more than you. I'm always going to treat my son or basically prioritize my son over you. That's when he really checked out. But we won't start there. We'll just start when he was cheating and when she, had a feeling in her gut. These women are stupid, man.
There is an unusually large amount of people talking about being single and then like men that treat them horribly, and I just maybe it's just my feed. Maybe it's just my feed, but I don't know where y'all are finding these horrible men at, and then why are you engaging with them to the point of them being able to even get close enough to hurt you? I'm around 6 amazing men every day, and I'm not with them because I see them every day. I don't want to see them every day. I mean, I don't want to see someone that I'm with every day. Unless it's a woman, then I want to see her all the time. If it's a man, I want to see you once a month, and I don't want too much communication. I just want it when I want it.
If you're a guy, stop everything. Stop what you're doing. I need to ask you a question. If you see someone cute in public and you want to approach them, so you're at a bar, you're at a restaurant, whatever it is, you see someone cute, you want to go talk to them, what is stopping you from talking to them? This is for guys only. Girls, there's another video for you.
I want to hear from y'all why y'all think there are so many drop-dead gorgeous women in their 30s in Dallas, Texas, who are single and signing up for my matchmaking service. I put out a call for single women in their 30s in Dallas, Texas, who still are interested in having children. I asked them to sign up for my matchmaking service. I've had over, 80 at this point, and it was yesterday. I made the video yesterday, and I didn't even pay to promote the video like I normally get around to doing that, where you pay to promote to a certain crowd. Haven't even had to do that. In fact, I'm about to turn the video off because there's too many people, women applying, and they're gorgeous. They're sending me emails with their pictures as I asked them to do. They're following instructions, which is always nice. And they're gorgeous women, one after the other. I'm opening these. I'm literally, surely this one's not going to be equally gorgeous, right? And I open up the email and see the picture. Nope, another gorgeous single woman in her 30s in Dallas, Texas. So what's going on? I have my theory. I'm curious what y'all might say as to why there are so many gorgeous single women in their 30s in Dallas, Texas.
I feel like that's just not true, because if you really believe that, you wouldn't be here debating. You would be at home with kids.
But I don't have children yet.
Why don't you have children yet? If it's the most important thing, why are you doing things for your career?
Is between her husband and God. I think that's a very disrespectful question. I don't say this disrespectfully, but that is a very weak man. And I think that any masculine true man would agree with me. But I don't. So I do not think you're. I don't think you're being honest with yourself.
I am being honest.
No, I do not think that if the government said you have to go to war tomorrow.
I mean, I
that you would go
definitely,
do it.
I don't think anyone though, going back to that, I don't think anyone would be like, yes, I get to go to war.
So we agree. We agree.
Found common ground.
Yeah.
The next time a guy wants to play stupid and asks if you're okay, if everything's okay, are you safe, I'm getting worried, you want to play stupid? We can play the game. I want you to tell him that you or your friend ended up in the hospital for some reason and that you need $500. You asked, so...
Put a finger down if, as a dude, you helped your girl through not one, but 2 brain surgeries. Then she goes on that problematic as Tonight's Conversation podcast, talking about you did, in fact, help her through 2 brain surgeries, and that you are emotionally and physically amazing. So much so that you washed her ass when she couldn't do it when she was in the hospital and stayed with her the whole time. But now at 24 years old, she feel real grown, right? And she wants to know, how long does she have to wait to be appreciated because you were without a job for a few months, which is embarrassing enough, but she coming online to tell your business. And y'all haven't been on a date in a good while. And she wants to know what type of advice could they offer her? And how long does she have to wait to be appreciated because wiping her ass and taking care of her in an invalid state wasn't enough? No? Yeah, me.
Yeah, they ain't doing nothing but embarrassing people, Doc. Just embarrassing. Said the man sat up there and helped her. Sat up there and wiped her behind. And that's what she got for him. I'm tired of it. I want to go find somebody else. What a loser, bro.
Are straight women okay? Because I keep hearing straight women just say how much they hate their boyfriend, how much they hate men. And at the same time, I hear straight men talk about women awfully as well. Are y'all just gay and you don't realize it yet? Like, I overheard a straight woman say that the thought of coming home to a man sitting on her couch made her want to die. I feel like I don't see that same hateful discourse in same-sex relationships. Like, I've never heard a lesbian say, I hate my girlfriend. And I've also never heard a man say, I hate my boyfriend. Is same-sex attraction more pure? That's controversial.
I do think for years men have been scamming us with chivalry. All a man does is open a door and we're like, he's a good guy. Like, he's so good. He likes me. This is all they do. If I was a man, I would open the door for every woman I ever met and I would fuck all of them. The other chivalrous act I see a lot that just like makes me mad is when a man will pull your chair out for you. I've only seen it, no one's done it for me, but no, this is all they do. Like, that's it. Like, it's the most least little amount of effort. And like, a man can do this. And then suddenly it just doesn't matter that he lost 80% of his money in crypto last year. Like, why?
Well, you wouldn't be doing that to anybody. You probably wouldn't even get a thank you, right? Because the modern women would require money first. You got to give them money first before you do that.
I just want to get on here and say, I appreciate men today. I don't hate y'all today. Because y'all just outside being men today. Like, clean somebody's car for them.
If you're a stay-at-home mom, this can happen to you. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past 7 years. I haven't made income. My ex has asked the judge to impute my income, meaning let's pretend that for the past 7 years I've been working and making income. Because I'm physically able to work and chose to be a stay-at-home mom, we're just gonna pretend like I've been bringing home a paycheck for the past 7 years. How is that even fair?
Yes, imputation of income is a real thing when it comes to child support, whether you're married or not married, and spousal support when you are married. And basically, it's the person asking the court to say that this person actually has income, even though they may not have income, in order to take the financial burden off of one spouse. Generally, it is the man when the woman is a stay-at-home wife. And a lot of women get offended by this because they feel like they stayed home, they took care of the home, they took care of the husband so that he can progress in his career, they took care of the kids, they were contributing to the household, but they are not divorcing the same man that they married, and that man may go into court and say, well, actually,
Court, I would like for you to find that she could actually have made $5,000 a month instead of the $0 a month that she's making, which in turn would reduce their spousal support or child support obligation. Is it morally wrong to do something like that? I think so, but is it legal? Absolutely, and a lot of men do it to a lot of stay-at-home wives.
And once again, I don't think people are talking about how she wasn't actually doing a whole lot for a little bit there. She is going through some things, and even when she could have been working or doing other things, she wasn't doing it, right? Nobody's ever going to say that, but she says that. That's what she says. And then she was talking about, I'm 2026 is going to be the year that I focus on myself. Well, according to your husband and what you said about your husband, you were already doing that. So that's why y'all getting divorced.
I did, in fact, turn my age range all the way the fuck up on Hinge. I feel like none of these men, like, my age, you're not impressive. None of them are impressive to me. I don't know. Like, no.